you're seeking balance in your plumbing business, your plumbing business is sinking. All right. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the morning workout. We're up before the sun to get it done. In fact, the sun even hasn't risen yet. It's kind of dark here. Hasn't even risen yet. All right, but get up before the sun to get it done. Get your lazy fat ass out of bed. Okay? Yeah, I said that. Get your lazy fat ass out of bed. Okay? And get at it. Okay? Comfort. I know it's comfortable underneath the blankets there, and it's so nice and cozy, and ooh, I just want to stay here. But comfort is the killer. Okay? And if you're looking to be successful in your plumbing business and in life, okay, you got to get up before the sun to get it done. Just how it is. All right, which leads me to the thing here, what I said. Okay, if you're seeking balance, okay, seeking balance is sinking your plumbing business. Okay, balance is bogus. That's an old term back from my day. It means it's phony. Okay, it's a lie. Okay, there's no such thing as balance. And we get that push at us. We've been conditioned that way, and the talk is we got to balance. There's work-life balance. Okay, that's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, there's no such thing as balance. Certainly, if you're looking to be successful, balance is created. This concept of balance is created literally to keep you in line. Okay, to keep you not achieving, just keep you being one of the cogs in the matrix. That's all that balance is. Okay, and it looks like this. It's like anything that's most things that are bad. There's always some truth in it. The balance is good. You shouldn't be working all the time. We should spend time with family. You have time with family, which is true. You should spend time with family. But talking to the men specifically here, you weren't created to spend time with family. Your job is to get out there, all right, and hunt and kill and bring the food back home, okay, to use a metaphor, all right? Meaning your job is to support the family, your wife and your children, to be out making it happen, to be successful out here on the battlefield, okay, getting it done, not at the kids' practices and those kinds of things, and not even at every game that we like to be there. But this thing of I work, and then I'm gonna every evening and the weekends being at the practices, taking the kids to practices and going different places and being at the games. Okay, that's designed specifically, first of all, to break up your family. I know on the outside it looks good. Well, I want to be with the kids, guys. Man, you weren't created to spend all your time with the kids. I know you love your kids. I love my kids. Okay, we love our kids. If you truly love your kids, you want to position your family where they're secure and there's opportunities for them to achieve. Okay, not only for your children, but your children's children and your children's children's children. Okay, that is your role. Okay, that's what you were created to do. Okay, not to seek balance, meaning I work a certain amount of hours, and then I'm playing with the kids. Okay, just to get go off the deep. I can still go off the deep end on that, and I know it sounds, I know that sounds mean or bad because you've been so conditioned. And I quite frankly, I can tell you of all the hundreds of plumbing businesses I've worked with, the guys that are involved in all the sports with their kids, okay, don't do well. If they survive, they're not doing well. They still just own their job. But I've known the ones that go out of business. All right, because that's specifically how that's designed to do. Look, being in, you've heard me say it. Look, if you love plumbing and you want to do plumbing and you want balance, you want this kind of slave life where you work, and then so you're given some time that you can go to your kids' practices and all that kind of stuff, and do all that kind of stuff and be a slave. That's what that is. Okay, then go be a good plumber somewhere. But business is war. Okay, this is competition out here. All right, it's just how it is. All right, and this idea that I might only work a certain amount of hours, or feeling guilty that your mind's on it all the time. That's again a construct that's being placed on men to hold us back. Okay, so you don't perform for your family. Believe me, the system, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. Okay, the taskmasters. All right. We don't have slavery today, as we think of it. At a time where we actually own the human beings, but we still have slavery. Okay, it's just a different style. So we still have this, the taskmasters. All right, and sadly, most men are slaves, and you're slave to the sports thing with the kids. Okay, you're slave to comfort. Okay, you're slave, and that concept of balance has been put forth to by the taskmasters. All right, so that keeps you in line. Okay, they don't want you to perform. They don't want you to do your own thing. They don't want you to be successful outside the system. All right, and so they have this concept of balance. Okay, now of course there's seasons. Okay, you're gonna have seasons in your life. I said you should be up every morning, man. You should be up every morning. Okay, brother, you should be up every morning. Get your fat ass out of bed. Okay, and be up before the wife and the kids and everybody's going. You should be up having some time when you're working on yourself. Setting your mind, learning, working on your body. You should be strong. Okay, it's your duty to be. Okay. If you're not, if you truly say you love your children, you love your wife, you love your family, you should be doing these things. Love is a verb. Love is action. Okay. It's not having your fat ass sitting watching your kids practice. Okay. Doing whatever. It should be working on making sure that again that you're providing a financial security for you and for your family. Okay. But there are seasons. So, I'm saying get up in the morning, that kind of thing. But, if the kids have been up, you got the kids up throwing up, sick or whatever, and then you may not, be able to get up. You got a duty to that. Or especially with new little ones, wife just comes home with a baby. By the way, there's no maternity leave for you guys, okay? Men, all right, there's no maternity leave for dads. Okay, don't be taking a month off, or Canada, you take off a year, all right, paid. Okay, that's the downfall of society. Your job as a dad is to truly love your kids. Okay, when your kid is born, you should have this fear inside you that I need to be going out kicking ass, killing meat and dragging it back home. All right, to support your family, not sitting at home playing games and watching sports. Okay, and that's exactly what you're doing. Okay, and it's under the guise of, well, I'm helping my wife. Yeah, if there was a rough delivery, that kind of stuff, you may have to take a couple days off to kind of help the transition. Okay, again, that's a season thing. But this mindset that I'm taking, taking a month off maternity leave, that's just pansy. Okay, that's society just feminizing you, because they don't want you to push forward. Okay, they don't want you to be successful. Okay, the system does not want you to be successful, does not want you truly creating financial security for your family. They want your family, you and your family, to be part of the system, dependent on the system. And so they throw out things. Of course, it sounds nice, right? It sounds nice, and I'm staying home and helping my wife and being part of the family and helping the family, right? That sounds nice, but that's not what that's designed to do. Okay, again, it's designed to keep you a slave to the system. All right, so we've been conditioned. This has been like, I come from a time, okay, where that wasn't the case. Okay, all right. With my time, was 18 years old. It was get your ass out there, get out of the house. And now we're talking about, we have 30-year-olds living at home. Like that's the thing to do. Adolescence now goes to like 30. All right, that's bullshit. First of all, but you've been conditioned to think that way. Okay, soft. And again, all that conditioning there with constructs like, balance, the idea of balance is there to keep you slave to the system. All right, so push against that. There's no such thing as balance. And if you're seeking balance while you're trying to grow a plumbing business, certainly any business, or trying to do anything at all, there's no such thing as balance. There's no such thing as balance in life. Okay, again, there's seasons. There's seasons and times that you have to adjust or whatever, but there's no such thing as balance. All right? So men, if you're serious about growing a thriving, self-sustaining, very profitable plumbing business, okay, an asset that creates financial freedom for your family, right, for your children, and for your children's children, and your children's children's children, all right? Right, get your ass out of bed in the morning, up before the sun rises, okay? And stop seeking balance, all right? Get out there and get after it, all right? It's your duty to do so. And if you don't want that, if you're too much of a pussy to do that, yes, I'm calling you out. Really, I'm calling you up, okay? If you're too much of a pussy to do that, then go be a good plumber somewhere, go be a slave to them and a slave to the system, okay? And be a cog and be ignorant to what's going on, okay? And I'm sure you'll whine and cry and complain about how it's their fault that you're not here, and their fault that you're not whatever, and this is against you and that's against you. That's all bullshit. Go be all part of that bullshit, okay? And watch your games on the weekend and at night, Netflix and all that kind of bullshit, okay? I'm not saying that watching a game is wrong or watching Netflix at any time is wrong, but the lifestyle, that's what it is, because that's balance. I work these hours, and then I do this, okay? If that's what you want to do, go do that. But if you're truly looking to be successful, quite frankly, I'm going to say it, all right? If you truly love your kids, okay, you'll be up before the sun getting it done and out there fighting on the battlefield, okay? Working on building a thriving, self-sustaining, and very profitable plumbing business. And balance has nothing to do with it, okay? All right, hey, there's my nickel's worth, for what it's worth. 40 years been in the plumbing industry, 62 years old, seen it all, made all the mistakes, and I get it. Hey, I love my kids, I love the time. At this stage of my life, there's times I realized I missed out on this and missed out on that. But, I provided for my kids and and we have the finances in place and those kinds of things. And we've done that. Sure, have I missed out on some practices and maybe some games, that kind of stuff? Sure. But it was my job, my duty, all right, to set my children up, set my children's children up, and hopefully set my children's up if I manage the money correctly, okay? All right? That's your duty. Better word than job, it's your duty. That's what you were created to do, men. You were created to do that, okay? Not spend the afternoons, with the kids at the park or at the practices, all right? You were meant to be out there on the battlefield, getting it done. All right, so there you go. All right, that's my 2 cents. All right. So, all right, hey, get out there as always. Seize your day, man. Seize your day. All right, get after it. Get out there and be dangerous. Okay, you were created to be dangerous. All right, plumb like a champion.